What's up, guys? We're here. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm bringing you a brand new character and a brand new build on the channel. I've been putting off playing Ranger for a very long time because I played Ranger so much in Path of Exile 1. When I first started playing Path of Exile, I played Ranger and I played Deadeye, and that's all I played for 4 leagues straight. So when PoE 2 released, I did not want to touch Ranger. However, we did go Ranger, and we are doing Pathfinder, Shattering, Concoction, just so we're doing something completely different. So I'm going to go over the build here. We're going to go over the skills, the entry-level gear. I'm only level 65, so this is very entry-level. I just hit maps with this character. I'm on level 1 maps right now, and we are just, you know, smashing through these maps. The build is really, really fun to play, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, gear pieces here. A few things. Let me grab one other glove piece because there is one piece of gear that you don't necessarily need. But if you do happen to have it, then it is a big addition to the build. So that would be the Hands of Wisdom in action. These seem to be everywhere nowadays on a lot of the builds with the 2 Herald setup, which is also what we're going to be running in this build. But we have Hands of Wisdom in action. This is going to scale the build really, really high with all the lightning damage and the attack speed that we need to actually throw the concoctions, which are literally just our potions, and we're going to explode and shatter everything and freeze everything. However, if you do not have these, that's okay. You can use gloves like these rare ones here. Just try to get like flat damage, especially cold and lightning, increase attack speed, dexterity. These gloves will work just fine. The build will work just fine with these. Going into maps, perfectly fine. But if you do got about 2 divines sitting around, then you can get the Hands of Wisdom in action. Otherwise, the other main piece that you're going to need for the build is a Widow Hail. This is going to be a huge damage multiplier to help give our big, huge bonuses from our quiver. So I would recommend at a 250 max, try to get anything over 200%. That's kind of like the threshold. I wouldn't go any lower than 200% when you're first starting out with this build, but definitely get as close to 250. But if you don't have that, get at least over 200% and you'll be just fine. This is going to increase the bonuses gained from our equipped quiver. And this is the biggest and probably the most important piece to the build is your quiver. So I've gone with Visceral with crit hit chance because I did spec into some crit. But we have flat damage here, cold, physical, lightning. The most important stat on here is the +2 to all projectile skills. Now, for those who don't know, from the patch notes, Concoction builds, Poison, and Cold all got a small nerf because there used to be the stat line where you would get the increased damage from bow skills. This is not a bow skill, so it doesn't count anymore. So we have this. So right now, this is a very solid quiver to start off with. Dexterity +2% or +2 to all levels of projectile skills, and then flat damage, and you're good to go. Mana on per enemy killed is very important here, so that way we can keep our flash charges up. Because every time we throw, it removes a charge from our flasky. You can see how this goes down, and then it's rebuilding back up. See how this goes down, and it builds back up. So make sure that you get mana on kill to try to keep that thing full. Next, I've gone with the Aziris. This just gives us a lot of energy shield. You can see when I take this off, I have 586 energy shield. When you put this back on, I literally double this almost. So this is just another defensive layer. However, not required for the build when you first start out. But I think once I progress the build a little bit more, I'm still going to keep this. I think it's just really, really good for this build since it is a little bit of range and you're going to kind of be close to enemies, so you may take some additional damage. I just think it's really, really good as a defensive layer. Otherwise, all your other gear pieces, again, you probably just want to go all ES, ES in evasion or all ES, and then get all your resistances covered. Mana regen is fine if you need it, but you don't really need it. Getting mana per kill here on this ring is very important. Try to get some flat damage like you see on these rings, and then just try to cap. Eventually, you are going to need a gold amulet, or not gold, it could be any amulet. You do need plus to spirit because we are going to be running a lot of spirit gems in this build. Right now, I still have 40 left over, but we are running Herald of Thunder, Ice, and then Alchemist Boon for our flask. And then we're going to be doing Grim Feast. I just have not put it in yet, just to help with the energy shield and defensive layers. However, on top of Spirit, the next big thing that you're going to need is +2 projectile skills, just like we have in our quiver. That is going to be the next one of the next upgrades I get. But right now, this is working just fine. My resistances are not looking too great. I definitely need to add the cold runes on to my stuff here. Like just add the cold runes on just temporarily, just to try to maximize my cold res. That looks a little bit better. Fantastic. But yeah, that's what you need in the amulet. Next, we're going to go over the skills, guys. We got Shattering Concoction. Now, one thing that I didn't understand is as you're continuing to level, this is from your ascendancy, so you can't add lessers, greaters, or perfects to this, okay? So this will increase as you continue to level up with your character. I just happened to hit my 4th slot, so we'll probably end up putting on super critical here, which is very important for increased crit damage. But in Shattering Concoction, what you're going to want first is Scatter Shot, so that way we throw 3 instead of 1. Martial Tempo for speed, Cold Mastery for another +1 to the skills, and then I'm doing super critical at the 4th slot. Next, in Herald of Thunder and Ice, now you can definitely add these, but 3 is okay for now. We're doing Ice Bite, Glaciation, as well as Ambush. And then in Herald of Ice, we're doing Magnified Effect, Conduction, as well as Lightning Infusion for explosions. I don't do the best with the explosions right now. I freeze more and then just shatter them with the skill itself. But once I can get some better gear, then these things will proc a lot more. Next, we got Alchemist Boon. This is just going to give us more recovery from our flasks and give us flasks or charges per second to help make sure that we never run out of these. Because if you run out of mana charges from your flask, then you can't throw Shatter Concoction anymore. And we got Clarity for more mana regen. So that's what we have right now, guys, in the passive tree. Of course, we're doing Pathfinder. We're going to be taking Connected Chemistry for more flash charges. We got Enduring Elixirs, so that way their effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled. Life flask effects do not queue. Next, we got Shatter Concoction, of course. And then we have Traveler's Wisdom for 5 more passive points, which just makes filling out the passive tree even better. Through the passive tree, you're going to come down. You want Honed Instincts down to Vile Wounds. Then we're going to come up and take Master Fletching, all the notes here to gain increased bonuses from our quiver. We have Cooked for more crit. Then we have Stand and Deliver for more crit damage and increased damage with hits against enemies within 2 meters. Then we got Catalyst for more elemental damage. Fantastic. We got Frazzled for increased mana regen and Magnitude of Shock. Although I don't know how I feel about this. I might actually take this off. We got Maiming Strike for more attack damage. We got Acceleration for movement speed and skill speed. Falcon Dive, increased attack speed per 250 accuracy. Then we're going to come up here. We're going to take all of the crit nodes in here with Heart Stopping. We're also taking Combing Calamity for increased damage while we have both of our Heralds. Then we're going to take Flurry for increased AoE of unarmed attacks because we are throwing a potion. So technically our attacks are unarmed, which is great. We got more crit here with Throat Seeker. We are going to grab Spectral Ward for more energy shield with our evasion rating. We're taking all of the crit stuff here with Deadly Force for the Jugular as well as True Strike. And then last but not least, we have Eternal Youth. This is just going to replace when we hit our life potion, it's going to replenish our shield and not our life, and our life will regen over time. Another quality of life defensive layer, so that way as we continue to gain up our levels, that way our energy shield can just double and we can survive from that. Now let's go ahead and go into the build. I only have this on here. I haven't added any more skills to it yet because we just hit maps. So I need to gain a lot of levels, guys, but I wanted to showcase how the build actually works. All you're going to do is run around and throw the Shattering Concoctions. It should just automatically, not automatically, it should destroy them. The build feels really great. It's really something different and cool to play as you're just moving. Oh, let's make sure we don't die here. Just be careful with the spamming. Allow your Shattering Concoctions to freeze them so that way you can get the mass effect here. Like, allow that to happen. You know, if you need to throw them farther away, that's fine. It still works just okay. And then you're good to go. So before we showcase any more of this, I want to talk about a few things here in the jewel sockets. You want to get increased bonuses gained from equipped quiver. This is very important. These jewels can be expensive, but if you can find some rare ones, it's very, very strong. On top of that, you definitely want to get at least one of these that says recover 2% mana on kill. Very important that you have this to help sustain and keep your life flask full. Outside of that, our other jewels are going to be increased flask effect, duration, attack damage, projectile damage, critical damage, and then increased damage with or increased bonuses gained from equipped quiver. If you get any combination of this stuff, it's going to feel really, really good. So now we can go ahead and go through. I can't believe this guy was just hitting me. You're dead. As long as we don't get frozen a little bit. You move rather quickly in this build, and you just kind of, it's just cool to play something a little bit different. You can see that like the heralds are starting to come down there. I'm just not doing enough damage for the explosions from the double herald tech to actually work. But it is super cool. You're just kind of moving around, throwing these things. I hope once we can scale the build, I can show you guys a lot more with the end game mechanics. But this is going to be the starter build and the entry build into this. So if you guys want to follow along with me, I'm going to have a planner down in the description below. So if you guys have any suggestions for me, comments, please like the video and comment down. Let me know if there's anything I can do to improve this build right off the bat. Anything, any tech, any skills to help me improve this build, because I'm going to take you guys along this journey, just kind of exploring this, because I did not want to play Deadeye. I know Deadeye is super strong, and I know it's amazing and all this, but I played so much of it with Tornado Shot and Path of Exile 1 and stuff, and Lightning Arrow and Path of Exile 1. I just did not want to do it this go around, so exploring Pathfinder and seeing the Shattering Concoction is really nice. My community member, Ray, shout out to Ray, who put me onto this. He actually plays the Poisonous Concoction. So then I was like, well, what else can we play? And it's like, oh, you can play Shattering Concoction. Okay. Well, let's try that first instead of Poison, because I definitely like the frozen stuff. So yeah, guys, this is the build. You just fly through. You're not as fast as some of the other builds, but you can still, once you get like some really good move speed and you can start zooming through maps, like maybe Blink will be really good for this build. It'll definitely speed up maps a lot faster, but man, I'm having a blast with this. It's really fun, so I look forward to bringing you guys some update videos on this. So again, like the video, guys. Comment down below. Let me know if you guys have any questions about the build, or if there's ways I can improve it. Please let me know down in the comments. I'm always trying to help get, explaining or exploring some of these new builds. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, guys, and as always, stay gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.